What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to High Temp Fishing, and I hope you guys enjoyed that fishing video that we did. We definitely caught our limit for the day, and you know, my battery had died, so I kind of had to cut it short, but we definitely caught our limit. Let me go ahead and show you what we have here, but before I show you, let me explain this particular video. We're gonna clean these fish, and we're gonna make an amazing dinner. We're gonna do a fish fry with roasted vegetables and quinoa. So we're super excited about today's dinner. I know my wife is really hungry, so we're gonna start cooking. We're gonna clean these up, and let's get right to it. Let me show you these fish. There they are. Good old mangrove snappers. Let's get cooking. All right, everybody, it's that moment we've been waiting for, time to get cooking. So before we can cook anything, we actually want to go ahead and clean our 5 mangrove snappers. So I'm going to go ahead and start filleting them. I'll clean one real quick so you can see it, and we're kind of going to just skip the other 4 so we can get straight to cooking and showing you guys what tasty treats we have. Before we get started, let me show you something really neat that we have. We got ourselves some High Temp Fishing shirts. They're really cool. I'm actually looking to give some away, so if you want one, let me know. Just put in the comment below, and we'll see how we can get you some out there. But other than that, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on. All right, everybody, let's get these fish filleted up and ready to go into that batter we're gonna make for that fry batter. These are gonna be really nice fillets. I'm really excited, really happy we caught. These are good-looking fish. They're all pretty chunky. Nice fillets on them, you know. I couldn't be more satisfied, especially for what we want with them, right? We want to do a nice good old fish fry. So look at that, beautiful fillets on each side. Let's get the other side. Yeah, so if you haven't seen my other videos, you fillet these just like anything else. Just work your way along that back spine, right? Getting as close to the bone as possible. You know, out the tail, right here. And then a lot of people like to flip it over. I actually like to continue working my way down along the bone here. Takes a little bit longer, but you get that belly meat as well, which tastes really good when you get all those bones out. Just flavorful. This is just my style. You know, you can do it your way. What you don't ever want to do is you just want to make sure you don't ever cut into the intestine of it, because that's where everything's at. You know, you just don't want to accidentally cut into it, right? Because that's where everything is. So, all right, he's all set. We're gonna go ahead and fillet these up here, all 5 of them, and we'll start frying once they're ready to rock. All right, everybody. So now that we've filleted the fish, we have to get our batter set so we can batter them up and get them deep fried. So this batter is gonna be a little bit different from fried snapper sandwich that we did. I'm actually gonna be using a little bit of flour, some breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, and then crushed up spicy sweet chili Doritos. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really good. So let's go ahead and get the batter set up. You wanna do like a cup of flour, right? And I don't really need a measuring cup, I can see it, but if you want to measure, you could. Cup of flour, right? And then half a cup of breadcrumbs. Again, if you guys want to measure, you could. I'm pretty good at measuring with, you know, just by looking at it, but. And then this here, we want to season. I'm gonna put some salt. This is gonna be to your liking. Obviously it's a batter, so you're gonna want to put a decent amount. Some pepper, crushed pepper. Keep crushing. When you think you've crushed enough, just crush again. Some Old Bay spice. and garlic powder. That Old Bay spice. So, anyways, it's gonna be more like a Cajun fry, so it should be good to go. So you want to shake it up really good. Give it a good shake. Right? You want to mix it up really, really good. We're not done with the breadcrumbs though. This was just the original batter that we're doing. This batter actually stays in the bag, right? Breadcrumbs come back in a bowl. And then you want to crush up your sweet chili Doritos, right? So let's get those crushed up and I'll show you what we do next. All right. I'm gonna give this how we do this. Crushed Doritos. I know, that's just where these come in handy. Remember that below we were talking about? You need to cop yourself one of these. Comes in handy. All right, let's get back to it. So we're gonna take the crushed Doritos and we're gonna mix them in with these breadcrumbs here. Why are we mixing them in? Two different consistencies, right? Crushed Doritos, obviously they're Doritos that have been crushed. So they're gonna be a little bit more coarse. You can keep crushing and crushing and crushing, but they're always gonna be pretty thicker, right? So the breadcrumbs are really fine, right? So it just gives it a really good consistency and a good texture when it mixes in together like this here, right? So we mix it in really, really good. This is gonna be the outside. So we're going to do a mix. We're going to take some egg batter, right? And then we're going to put our fish in the egg batter, put it in the flour, remove from the flour, put it on here, and it's gonna be ready for the fryer, so. So the next step, you wanna take some eggs, just whisk them up pretty good. It's like if we were doing scrambled eggs, right? Because this is gonna be what's gonna get our fish nice and moist so we can get the batters to stick to them, right? And we're using we're using a base batter, right? And then we're gonna use our breadcrumbs and Doritos on the outside so you get nice and crispy when they're frying up. All right, so that's set. Now we begin the process. First things first, we are going to mix up our fish. You have to do one by one because they're actually all going to be going into that flour mix bag that I did all at once. And we're gonna shake them up really good. This is a recipe I learned when I was younger. I used to work in a restaurant and I saw this recipe. It was everything minus the Doritos. They didn't, they were too fancy for Doritos. But it was a two-step or three-step process when it came to doing the batter. So we're gonna follow that same process and just give our magic touch to it, which is that sweet and spicy or sweet and chili Dorito sauce, right? So that's just the way we want to do things. So we're gonna take these, bring this to the side, bring these out a little bit. Don't want it to be too thick. And in the mix it goes. All right, once you got it in here, you want to seal it up pretty good. Keep some air in it. Give it a good shake. Yes. This will evenly coat it. All the pieces for the most part. Why do we throw it in there? Because we still want it a little bit moist, right? When we throw the breadcrumbs and the Doritos on it, we want it to stick. But this batter, it's not supposed to be a super dry batter, right? You want it to have a little bit of texture, some moisture to it. So you deep fry it, just gives it a really good flavor overall. And that's really what we're looking for. The important thing is though, when you take it out of this bag, and you'll see what I mean, you want to make sure you get all that excess flour off. You don't really want excess flour on it. So you want as much of that excess flour off, and then we'll coat it, right? So I'll show you what I mean. All right, so we're gonna take these out. Right, they're nice and coated. Some people, you could actually just deep fry just like that if you want. But our recipe takes another batter right on top of that, so you'll see. It's gonna come out really good. All right, so the next step before you actually add your breadcrumbs and your crushed Doritos is you take a little bit of egg, right, and a brush, and just coat it again. Again, we don't want to douse it in there, we just want to coat, get it to stick to it pretty good. Give it a good coat. Do both sides in a bit. And now, give yourself a healthy portion on each. We're gonna flip it over in a second and do the same both sides, but here we'll get the stick this way. All right, here we go. I think we're all set to go. I know it looks really messy, but it's gonna be really good, you gotta believe. All right, everybody, so for the quinoa, I actually step out of the kitchen and I let my beautiful wife take over because she makes an incredible quinoa, so she's gonna explain to you, what we gotta do here, so. All right, Anjali, what do we have to do here?
All right, so I put 3 cups of water. Okay, so I put 3 cups of water. I put salt in it, and you put it to boil. And while you do that, you measure 1.5 cups of quinoa. And that's just how it's worked out for me, so I just continue to, and that's it. We just gotta wait for it to boil, and then we mix in the quinoa. Okay, so once it's boiling, then we just stir in the quinoa.
How long do you cook it for?
I would say about 15-20 minutes, because once you put it in, you have to wait for it to boil again. You cover it, and then you put it on medium. I check it after 15 minutes or so, make sure that it's fluffy or it's getting fluffy, and then I cover it again for another 5 or 10 minutes.
Awesome. All right, next thing is super quick. While the quinoa is cooking, you want to prep your vegetables and your roasted peppers, medley that you want to do. So we're doing little red potatoes, some onions, some garlic. We've got some tomatoes. We've got little red and orange bell peppers, some cilantro, and some crooked neck squash. What I do is I take the little red potatoes and I just cut them in half. Heat up a pan with some olive oil, take some garlic, throw it in there. While this is cooking down, you want to run it on medium. You don't want to run it too hot. You throw your onions in there. And then while you can prep your red peppers and peppers. Just cut them up. These don't have to be perfect. You don't want to julienne these. You want to have some structure with these, so you can cut them in different cuts, really. They don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be identical. Easiest thing to do when you cut them up, you just wash the seeds right off. You really don't want seeds in there, they get real bitter. All right, once you got all your ingredients in there, give it a nice little shake. Let it cook down. Add some cilantro, some green onions. And the last thing you want to add is that your crooked neck squash. Add your peppers to it. Give it another shake. And top it off.
Okay, so when you see that the water has evaporated, you kind of mix it. Make sure that it's not getting stuck at the bottom. And that it's cooking. Okay. And then we cover it again. And let it finish cooking.
Now that the quinoa is cooking, and so is the roasted potatoes and vegetables, the last thing you want to add to that medley of your potatoes with your onion, your peppers, garlic, is the crooked neck squash and your tomatoes. You're gonna cover these up. You're just gonna let it sit there for another, let it cook for another 8 minutes, right? So now that that's set, we're actually gonna start frying up our fish because it is time to put it all together, right? The grand finale. Just heat up your oil, bring it up to high, then bring it down to medium. We'll dump our fish. All right, let's go ahead and add our fish to the fryer pan. Nice and hot. These you don't want to do a lot at a time. You don't really want it to stick. So kind of just eyeball it. 5 minutes max. Okay. Alright, so while these cook up here and they're looking beautiful, they look perfect, we have to make our secret sauce. Okay, so it's really not a secret sauce. It's a really good, simple tartar sauce that I like to do. So tartar sauce is mayonnaise, mustard, right, and a little bit of dill relish or you know, pickled relish. You can add a bunch of other stuff to it. We're just gonna make a super simple tartar sauce here, just to kind of get the party started and give it a really good flavor. So this is to your liking, ladies and gents. However you like it. I can tell you I do typically do 50-50. Actually, I do about like 60-40, a little bit more mayonnaise than I do the mustard. But again, that's to your liking. All right. And you whip it till you can't whip no more. A little bit more mayonnaise. I use Hellmann's. I would never recommend any other mayonnaise other than Hellmann's. And look, for some of you cook snobs out there, yeah, sure, you could definitely make your own mayonnaise if you want, but nobody wants to sit there all day and bat some mayonnaise. So I mean, we're doing things from scratch, but this is like, mayonnaise from scratch would be a little intense if you ask me. So I'm just gonna give this, I'm just gonna try it out, see what it tastes like. Wow, killer, perfect, it's exactly what we want. All right, everybody, so the moment of truth has come, the last and final step. Add some of this amazing tartar sauce to your fish. And you can hear how crunchy it is, right? And just give it a go. Wow. Just amazing. The vegetables are perfect. The potato came out perfect. The quinoa, Anjali did an amazing job. And the fish with the tartar sauce is just incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna wrap it up. I have to eat dinner with my wife. We gotta enjoy this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, catch, clean, and cook. Get yourself some.